Hey geeks, Barry here with Geek Out Studio. Today bringing you another painting tutorial on how I painted Roboute Guilliman. He's a very big model, so there's going to be a lot of paint involved. I start by assembling the miniature into a couple of sub-assemblies to help just with paint, and then I prime the miniature using Vallejo Surface Primer Gray. Once I'm done priming, I then use Vallejo Model Air Signal Blue, focusing mainly into the recesses, bottom portion of the miniature, and any shadows, since this is a very dark blue. After that, I go over the entire miniature using Vallejo Model Air Blue. To achieve the highlights, I kind of do a two-stage approach. At first, I use Vallejo Model Air French Blue, focusing mainly at a 45 and straight up, and then I follow that up using Vallejo Model Air Light Blue. Once the armor's done, I then use Vallejo Model Color German Gray to block in everything that's going to be black or will eventually be a metallic. I then coat the miniature with a gloss varnish to prepare it for a black oil wash. After I let the oil wash dry for about an hour to hour and a half, I then go back with just clean mineral spirit and a makeup applicator to remove any excess. For the sword, I began by basing it with Vallejo Model Air Mahogany. To build up the gradient, I then used Vallejo Model Air Fire Red, followed by Vallejo Model Air Orange, then Vallejo Model Air Yellow, and then with a very small towards the tip, Vallejo Model Air White. Now, using the Vallejo colors, the gradient was a little wonky and a bit too transparent and splotchy, so I then went in with some of my Citadel paints of various oranges, yellows, reds, and just kind of hand-picked out highlights and to better blend the gradient. For all the gold parts, I started with Tamiya's Gold Leaf. add a bit of richness and depth to the gold, I went over it with Citadel's Sepia, Seraphim Sepia, excuse me. It was the gloss varnish to kind of keep it shiny. After the wash is dried, I then dry brush Tamiya's Titanium Gold. For the purity seals, I did something a little bit different. This time I used Citadel's Carrick Stone, but then I still followed my traditional pattern of once the base coat is down, I then do a brown wash, followed by Carrick Stone mixed with a little bit of Vallejo Model Color Buff until I get a final highlight of just pure buff. For the actual purity seal or the seal wax, I start by using P3 Sanguine Highlight. Follow this up with just a little bit of red wash to kind of give some depth, and then I highlight it with the P3 Sanguine Highlight mixed with a little bit of white. And then after that's all dry, I'll hit it again with just a little bit of a red wash. Here I'm starting to actually paint in all the metallic bits using Vallejo Game Color Gunmetal. For any of the white detail, I start by basing the areas with Vallejo Game Color Wolf Gray. I'll finish the white areas with just plain white, making sure to leave a little bit of the Vallejo Game Color Wolf Gray in the recesses. I then move on to the head. I base the skin using Vallejo Model Color Tan Earth, and for the hair I base it with Citadel's Xandri Dust. I then go over everything, the face and the hair, with Seraphim Sepia. I'll highlight the face, beginning with a mixture of Vallejo Game Color Pale Flesh and the Tan Earth, and just highlight the areas until I get to a final highlight of Vallejo Game Color Pale Flesh. For the hair, I'll highlight it using Vallejo Model Color Buff. And then later on for the actual laurels, I paint the laurels gold, so I paint it the same way I painted all the other gold bits, using Tamiya's gold leaf followed by Seraphim Sepia wash with a very light dry brush of titanium gold. I round out the miniature by setting up for some jewel and gem effects. I start by basing any of the areas that are going to have like a gem effect using Vallejo liquid gold and silver, and then I'll go over those parts with Tamiya's clear red or clear green. One final detail was to add some script to the purity seals using a 0.05 micron pen. At this point, the miniature was basically completely done, but I still had the base to do. So be sure to follow up on part 2, where I go over how I did the base and the final construction and showcase videos. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you next time.